Welcome back to Game Room Crafts. I'm Kelly. This is my game room. Let's play. Today is Skull Sunday. This is part of the Skull Sunday collaboration brought to you by Heron at Dragon's Cave and Lula at Nerd Goblin Arts. Check out the playlist below. You'll see lots of different skulls coming up. Now, I decided that today we're going to be playing, because we're going into Valentine's Day, Valentine's season, I'm going to make a couple skull. So here I have, it's actually a fondant mold. They're two skulls looking at each other longingly, surrounded by roses and leaves. So I'm going to be painting those in. I've never done this before, so trying something new. That's what I love to do. Okay, so I'm going to do my roses. I have 3. There's 2 small ones, one on either side, and a giant one in the middle. I'm going to do the 2 small ones in pink and the giant one in red. So I have the Baltic Day chrome powders, and they were upside down, so we're going to give it a tap. And this is the pink, and it's a very small and detailed mold. So I have to get into all of those nooks and crannies. So I'm putting my finger underneath it and kind of pushing on it. I'm hoping that this works. I'm using a silicone brush to get in there and really push that color into the petals. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll do a little alcohol and kind of get it in there, kind of almost like a water paint kind of deal. And I'm more dabbing than brushing, because I don't want clumps of powder, but I want it to get into all the petal spots. And I'm turning it to make sure that I get in there. I think that's good because it's small. See, I don't know if this, I'm going to assume that this little piece is part of the flower. It could very well be part of the leaves, but oh well, it's part of the flower now. Oh, that's too much. Too much. This is isopropyl alcohol. Those parts that are clumpy, I'm just rubbing it with the alcohol and unclumpifying them, but still keeping them in the spots that I want it. Hopefully. And I am pulling it apart and spreading it while I paint. It makes it easier to get into the nooks and crannies. Okay, so that's one. That's pink. I'll close it up. I'm going to try my favorite golden purple on the other side. It is not a chrome powder. However, I like the color. So I'm hoping that it will give us what I'm looking for. I'm going to start over on this side with the golden purple. And hopefully the mold takes it, because it's, like I said, not a chrome powder. What's going on? I really like this color. I need to find it somewhere else because this brand, I can't find their powders anymore. So I don't know if they changed. And I really like this color. I'm going to put a little bit of alcohol in to kind of spread that out. I'm pulling it apart so I can get into those little areas. There's a clump of powder right there. Want the color, don't want the clump, because that's going to cause a bubble. If you leave it as a clump thinking, oh yeah, it's going to cause a bubble, and it's going to possibly float over to the rest of your piece. That's not what you're looking for. Okay, hopefully that works. But I got a little bit of powder in the skull itself, and he needs to not be purple. Golden purple, we have decided, basically rose gold. But the color, the way, we have rose gold, and it doesn't look like that. Okay, we're going to move on to our red. This is the blood red, also Baltic Day. Get what's in the cap first. This is a much bigger rose. I'm going to use my much bigger brush. Kind of dab it in there. So I've discovered that doing this is not good for my stress levels. I am not a patient person. Ask the kid, she'll tell you. So doing this, and you have to get every little piece and spread them out there. You see how I switched to the bigger brush, right? Because it's faster. skull. I think that's going to be pretty if it all comes out. Okay, so what I'm going to do now when I'm done painting out my rose is I'm going to switch to a little brush so I can get into that little tiny little areas there. See that? Not super worried about it getting in the skull because I'm going to do the last thing I do before I pour any resin is I'm going to clean him out. I mean, yes, I'm trying to be a little careful, but I'm not being super precious about it because I'm going to clean him out anyway. And that's that. Let me double check that. Yeah, the purple and the pink are okay, although I don't think that's pink. Close that up before I spill it, because I will, because that's me. Okay, now green. I don't know if I'm going to do all green or if I'm going to go like a little bit of this green and a little bit of different green. Now, anything you don't want, red or pink or purple, in my case, rose gold, you have to wipe it out because whatever touches their mold first is what you're going to see. So like over here, I know that that's leaf, but I managed to get it red. So I'm going to wipe that out real quick before I cover it in the green for the leaves. Okay, so here we go for that. Now, at this point, if I get green on top of where my roses are, I don't care because like I said, what you put in, what you touch the mold first is what you're going to see. Now, if I could do this, pour this and think, oh, I'm just going to pour it in green. Well, the problem is, and I thought about it, but the problem is with the skulls, I want them to be not white, but like, you know, bone colored or black. I haven't decided. I might do black, in which case everything has to be painted beforehand because you don't want everything to show black. Or if I decide to pour it that bone color white with maybe a little bit of brown to kind of beige it out to age the skull, then I need this stuff to already be colored. Otherwise, you're going to see white. So I bend it, I stretch it, I pull it apart. I'm going to go big and then I'll go back with the small and make sure it got into all the nooks and crannies. Now up here is also green. And over the top of the skull is also green. Okay, now I have to go traditional brush because it is not getting down into the bottom and I want this stuff burnished in. Actually, that works pretty well for me because it applied the color and then I just used the fluffy brush to burnish it all in. I'm sorry if I'm not on camera, I'm trying. Then I see something that oh, let me get that closer to my face. And then I forget that you guys are there. Sorry. Okay, so you saw me just apply the powder down here and I'm just rubbing it in real good. Everybody's getting a rub, even the roses. But we're going to do the green first. That's good. Green gets covered. Put away. Now I need to clean my skulls. This is 91% isopropyl alcohol. And this is a lipstick applicator brush. You can get those on Amazon. I'm just going in with my alcohol and cleaning out any parts that I don't want to be green. Because, like we said, whatever touches the mold first is what you're going to see. And when I pour my resin, I don't want to see green in the skull. I mean, I suppose you could have a green skull, but not here and not today. Let's see. I'll come in with the baby wipe to see what I can get out of there because that's kind of a bit much. Yeah. Good. Better. He does have some up by his brain pan and down on his chin. Chin. Okay, I think, and that's a dangerous thing. No, I think that's good for cleaning him out. So here's what we're doing with our skull today. I am going to cast this, like I said, some kind of bone color. And I'm also making a jar. And when I'm done with this jar, it is a candle jar, but I'm not using it as a candle jar. I'm just going to use it as a jar. I actually have a jar like that minus the cover, and I put my tools in it. But also I use it in my bathroom for, you know, little things that I keep on my counter. I'm a diabetic, so I keep things like my little needle tips in the jar prior to use before they go into their sharps box. I have them in the jar, and then when I'm done, put them in a sharps box. So I'm cleaning off my brush because if I don't do it now, I will forget. Kid wants me to do the jar in pink. Pink for the jar, but I'm thinking it's going to be pink marbled. So I'm using the Pearl X, Jacquard Pearl X. This one is flamingo pink. That is a beautiful pink. Maybe I should have used that on the jar, except that everything minus the golden purple is chrome. So that wouldn't have worked. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, this is not going to take very much at all because it's, you know, it's flat. It's a fondant mold. So it's not going to take very much at all. When it's done and it's still flexible, I'm going to flex him and glue him to my jar. Well, this way. By the way, if you see this, the jar comes, it's a little wonky. So in order to keep it round, I cut a piece of pool noodle and I just, whoop, keep it in there, cast it like that. And when it's time to demold, it's real easy to take out because there's a hole because it's a pool noodle. So there's that. That's my tip for the day. Use pool noodles. I get my pool noodles from the Dollar Tree. Sometimes Walmart, they, you know, that time of year, they sell them for, you know, 99 cents, $1. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to get some resin mixed up. This jar, I know this jar, 5 ounces total. So there we go. So I'm going to need slightly more than 5 ounces because I'm pouring this. So I'm going to get my resin mixed up and I will bring you back for the coloring. Okay, see you in a bit. So I have here a total of 6 ounces of Bondcrafter 121 epoxy resin. I'm split it into 2 cups. So I have like 2.5 here and 3.5 there. And the reason is I need to mix up some color. And I think I want to make the skulls black. I really do. We're going to be marbling the jar in pink and white. So I'm going to be using the flamingo pink from Pearl X and the sparkling white powder from CT. And just because I like it and I think it should be sparkly because, yeah, that's why. I'm going to pour my, because I don't think it'll take more than 1/2 ounce. Well, wonders never cease. That was 1/2 ounce. Yay me. Okay, so before we move on to everybody else, we're going to color that 1/2 ounce. We're going to color it black using the black Recollections mica powder. And here I have some isopropyl alcohol. I'm just going to put my powder in there and I'm going to let it dissolve because that's going to help me get any lumps or clumps out of there. And that is going to go in my little cup here. Let me cover this before I spill it because clumsy me. Put it there for now. Here's my half. You know what? I'm going to pour it right in here. Mix it. Yeah, I cannot see my stick, so that's good. That's what I want. I want it to be opaque. Because these chrome powders tend to look better when you back it in a dark color. I was going to do the whole thing in white, thinking, you know, the skulls can be white, but I don't want the skulls to be white. So black it is. I'm kind of letting that sit for a bit to see if any bubbles come up. because there's gonna be lots of bubbles. I know, because there's a lot of detail in this, so that's gonna suck. But what I'll do is, because I can't put alcohol in it because I painted it, I will poke at it with my dotting tool and hope that any bubbles will come floating to the top. That would be really helpful. See these up here? No resin went in there. I have to kind of scooch it in there with my stick. This side too, same thing. See, bubbles, 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 bubbles everywhere. So that's actually a little over. So a half ounce was too much. I'm not super worried about it. Okay, so I'm gonna slide it back. I know that's too much. It's already going off over the side. There I was thinking it's not enough because it's not going in the holes. I needed to give it some time and a little bit of encouragement, like a child. Give it time and encouragement. Okay, I think I got it. I'm gonna have to do some trimming. I know that because like right here, I'm just gonna keep going there because it was already there. But I don't want to take out too much resin because are you sliding? Are you tilted there? See, it keeps running to that side. Do you need a stick? Possible. He might need a stick. No! That was dumb. This is why I work on parchment. And luckily this parchment was new, so there's nothing on here. Woof. That sucked. And I need to wipe it down because I don't want to get that on my skin. Of course, I also don't want to get the alcohol on my skin, but oh well. Okay. So I had mixed my 6 ounces. I took out a half ounce for my black, which I did not need all of that. So I'm going to end up with black scrappies. That's okay. I don't mind black scrappies. I'm also making skulls for my jar, but that's going to be either white or pink, whatever I have left over. So here's my thought. I want to marble my jar in white and pink because that's what the kid asked for. So for the white, I'm going to be using the CT Sparkling White because otherwise I would have used crushed crystal, but no crushed crystal today. We're going to use the sparkling white. I'm going to use quite a bit of it because we're not just going for sparkle, we're going for the whiteness of it. So I have my big scoop. And if most of it ends up in the cup instead of flying around my room, that would be great. Now, I could have done the alcohol thing with this too, and I didn't. I wasn't thinking. That's okay. I really don't want to have to mess up another cup. I'm going to wet that down. Let's see if I need to add more before I apply my mixer. Maybe a tad bit more, like another big scoop. In. Thank you. Okay, so that's the white, or it will be. This is the pink. I've never used this pink before. So I'm hoping we get some good color out of it. Give it a slight. Wow, that's a pretty pink. It's not a baby pink. It's brighter. Wow. I don't think I need any more. Oh, there's some on my cup. I'm making sure to scrape the side and the bottom. Yeah, I think I'm good for that. Put it up there. This, I'm going to give a little zhuzh because of the sparkle in there. That's like crushed crystal. The more you mix it, the sparklier it gets. Okay, kid, cue the music. Because it's a jar and it's narrow on the top, it's not very thick. I don't know that I'll be able to, do the glitz effect. So I'm gonna stack it, dirty pour it, I guess. So I need a cup. Okay, whoop, stick out. Don't need that no more. This is a pretty pink. I like it. I don't use pink enough, I think, because I'm more a purple girl. So my go-to is usually to grab the purple bit. This is a pretty pink. And the only reason I grabbed it is because the kid asked for it. Scully Valentine. That's what she said. My Scully Valentine. Okay, so sleeves up. Don't want to get it on my sleeves. I think we'll start with white. So we'll go white down the cup and then same spot, paint down the cup. Well, that was not smart. Spilling it everywhere. Come on, Kel, get it together. Then pink, no drippings. Then white. I don't know. I haven't done this in a while. That doesn't look right to me, but oh well. It is what it is at this point. All right. Push that back. Bring that over. Look at that. It already has some sparkle from the flying around sparkling white. All right. Here we go. I don't know. It all looks pink to me. She's going to be mad. Stop. I should have done it earlier, but I'm squeezing that bottom and making a mess because that's what I do. If you see the bottom of the jar, you can kind of see if there's any bubbles. Personally, I don't see any bubbles. I also don't see any marbling. It looks to me like the whole thing turned pink. She's gonna have to deal. That's all. She's gonna have to deal. Okay, so I'm gonna top that up. Oh, see the bubble? Come on, Mr. Bubble. Pop, 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 pop. Let's go around. Around. That's just the bottom, but I really don't want to have. You don't have to deal with sanding bubbles at the end. Okay, now the cover. You know what? I can't deal. I cannot deal. Now the intention is at the end of this casting, when we're done making the cover, we will either add a third skull to the top or a flower. We'll see which one looks better. I don't have any pink skulls. I do have white, and of course I have black, which the skulls on the flower part are going to be black. But I don't know. Do we want a third skull? Because it's supposed to be, you know, representative of Valentine's couple. Of course, I suppose it could be a throuple. No judgment here. Oh, come on. Yay. Look at that. Perfect. Yay. Perfect, perfect. Okay. I'm going to give these guys a spritz. Now that everybody's in the pool and I'm not interrupting any powder that I already painted, I am going to clean up. We are going to leave these alone, believe it or not. Well, no. For that, I'm going to go in this jar cover and just go around the edges and make sure I don't have any bubbles hiding. And it gave me a nice swirl. All right, so now we're gonna leave it alone and we will be back when it's time to demold and do the next step. Okay, see you soon. And we're back. And these are semi-done. Well, they're hard, but you know, not completely done. And I'll tell you why. You wanna hear why?
Why?
Because we're going to take out our jar and we're going to add our skulls to it. And I'm getting all this yucks off the side and the top because I don't want it to fall into the mold. See that? That was all over when I made a mess. Clean it up now so it doesn't fall into the mold as I'm demolding it. Okay, jar first. Oh, go in, pull out my pool noodle.
Pool
Poodle, not a poodle. Let's not confuse. Okay, so I do have a few micro bubbles on the bottom. And I tried to get rid of that when I ran the micro brush underneath it, but it didn't work. Okay, squeeze and twist. And as you can see, I'm going to put my mold back the way it's supposed to be, because then that way it's ready to go the next time. Because if this works, because I've never done this before, there will be a next time. And my pool noodle goes right back in there. Cover comes out just because I want to make sure that it is okay. Otherwise, I would have left it there because we are going to be putting... Yeah, look, that fit perfectly. Perfect. Now, I am going to drop that right back into the mold because when I put my, whether it's a flower or a skull on it, it would be better to have it in the mold. Okay, this is where our skull couple comes into play. And it is still soft. You want to see, kid? What do you think?
Nice.
Now, it is, the fondant mold was matte mold. So if I want to, I can use some resin to shine it up after the fact. I'm just clipping off, I had a bunch of overpour. Clipping it off. Most of it's like resin paper. But I don't want to pull it because these are very thin. They're like vines. And I don't want to break them. Okay, there's a reason I took it out early, and the reason is because I want this on my jar. So I take my jar. Kid, look, it's a little tall. But if I clip off this on the bottom...
Yeah, I would have clipped off the bottom immediately. I didn't even realize it was supposed to be there.
Okay, it is. Like that. And I could just clip this whole...
Yeah, at the base of it.
This one too?
Sure. Whatever you gotta do to make it fit.
Well, then I guarantee there won't be another one exactly like it anywhere in the world. What do you think?
Nice.
Okay. So, this is what we decided to do. Now, everybody uses painter's tape to hold their things down. I decided I'm going to be using this self-adhesive bandage. It sticks to itself. And it's reusable. So if this works, I can use this when I'm using my split molds. I'm using E6000 today because neither I nor the kid wanted to deal with UV resin. Plus, we didn't think it would work anyway because both of these pieces are quite opaque. So we don't think it would work that way. I'm gonna squeeze me some glue. I suppose I could have like hot glued it, but hot glue is not as sturdy as the E6000. Once the E6000 sets, it's set. Okay, come off there. Close that up. And because it's still soft, it curved right around my jar, exactly where I want it to be. And then I just take my self-sticking bandage here. And I suppose I could actually just leave it like that. What do you think? Instead of cutting it?
Yeah.
It's sticking to itself. It's holding my piece in until the glue sets. Now, kid, you've seen the top. What do you... Hi, buddy. Pepsi just pushed the door open. We call it boofing. He boofed the door open. You've seen the top. You've seen our piece. What do you want to go on the top of the jar?
Red rose.
Red rose. Okay. The kid, in her infinite wisdom, has decided that she would like on the top of this jar to be a red rose. And I currently don't have any red roses because most of my roses are in mixed to mold right now. And she would prefer it all to be resin because...
I suck.
No, you do not suck. You're not a loser. And apparently I was not thinking. I did not put on my gloves. Okay, so I'm looking and I do not see the striations and my resin has gone clear. I don't see my candy floss strings, so that's good. We're going to use Scarlet, Rolio Scarlet.
Okay.
You want it opaque red or you want it transparent red? Not transparent, translucent.
Opaque.
Opaque red. I think that's enough because there's not a lot in there. I love this red, the Roleal Scarlet. Beautiful red. Like if you're looking for a good Christmas red, that's it, man. This rose is also a fondant mold. Lots of detail in here. I make sure I don't have any yucks from the last time. I'm going to spray it with alcohol and rub it in to all the nooks and crannies. And then I'm going to pour. And finish filling it. That's domed. And I have some extras, so I will make me a red skull. By the time I'm ready to demold our flour, because I'll let it sit for a while to see if any bubbles come up, and then I'm going to stick it in my heat box. But by the time I'm ready to demold my flour, my glue should have set, no problem. It's not completely cured for 24, what is it, 24 or 72 hours? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
That's all right. No biggie. But it will be good enough that I can take off my bandage. And if this works, I'm going to be using that to hold my split molds together because, hi, it's reusable and I'm not wasting tape. It seems to me to be holding better than if I taped it together.
Yippee.
Yeah. And you know, when you use tape on a split mold, it doesn't really, I mean, it sticks to itself, but it's not really sticking to the mold because the mold is silicone. So that, I'm going to give a couple of cake drops and I'm going to twist it. Now, this skull is not full, so I'm just going to leave him down here so he can get filled the next time. And we will be back when it's ready to demold our rose and plop it on the top. See you in a bit. It's been a while. These went in the, not this one, these three went into my dehydrator, which I use as a curing box, and they feel like they're done. Here's a good test. If my skull comes out and everybody's ready to come out of the pool. Oh, ain't that pretty? That is a pretty red skull there. But we are not using him today. He's going to go in the jar. We're going to use one of these two roses, and it's going to go right on top of our cover. What do you think, Kit? Should we, I think we should put like a clear, because there's still lippage here. It wasn't even, I guess.
So then we have to clear just to hold it down.
Okay, so I have two roses. I only showed pouring this one, but then I decided I was going to try this one just to see which one came out better. So there's one.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other one. Now this one, I colored the leaves green before I poured the resin in.
Yeah,
same red resin.
Just because you painted it, I feel like you should use that one. Just because, like, you put all that effort in.
You know, it wasn't that much effort. This mold took the metallic acrylic ink very well.
I was trying to give you a reason to pick.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay, so here, okay, so, well, first of all, let's do this, because this should be done. Nice. And I'm keeping this and I'm using it again the next time I need to hold a split mold together or do something like this because hi, reusable, and we paid $1.25 for this at the Dollar Tree. I wish it was shiny. It's matte.
Oh yeah. That's what fondant molds do.
It is. I could have shined it up though if I put some resin over it, but I think it might be a little too late. But I kind of like it because it's you know, to me it's like antique-y, old-fashioned-y. And antique-y. Antique room. Yeah. Okay, so look again. Here's the jar, right?
Yeah.
So that's the cover. That one or that one. I know I'm kind of thinking because of all the leaves down here that one might work. No?
I don't know. Here, we've used that one as a topper for a jar before.
This one?
Yeah, I don't think we used the other one yet. So.
No.
Let's not use the leaf.
Or the leaf or this. There's always this. I also have a black one.
No.
No, not that. That one. Okay. You don't think it's too green compared to this?
But the other one we've used before.
True. You know, if we wanted to, we could take that same green that's on this leaf and just go over these leaves on the skull overlay.
Up to you.
No. Because it seems to me like it came out really dark, matte.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do this. I need some gloves. We need to make up some resin for the rose. First, we're going to get some resin down here. Just clear. Just clear. Little cup. The jars already had the sparkling white in it. So, my question becomes, should we put the... Oh,
Finish your sentence.
should we put the sparkling or crushed crystal in the clear coat?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to stir that up. Sparkling white or the crushed crystal?
Whichever. We're going to do sparkling white to make it matchy.
Matchy matchy. So this is a very little bit of a very small amount of resin. So I'm not mixing it for 4 minutes. I'm just mixing it until the striation goes away and, you know, it's kind of clear. Now, because I'm hand mixing it, of course, I'm introducing more bubbles than if I use my machine. But it's too small for me to use the machine on. Can you see the cup going? I'll put the machine in and the cup just... I am scraping the bottom. I'm scraping the side. Don't want any unmixed resin. That would be horrendous. Okay, this. Now, you saw I did a lot of scoopage when I was making the jar. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing that. I stuck my popsicle stick in there and whatever got stuck to it, that's what's going in. Remembering, of course, the more I mix it, the more the sparkles break up. And so the sparklier it looks. So you can see that. I believe that to be that. So I'm going to pour some on top. It wasn't all of it. And I'm going to swish it around, get it to all the edges. Now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, and I thought this when I first pulled it out too, that it would have benefited from a popsicle stick because it was not obviously not level. I know. It looks okay now.
Hopefully it stays that way. In fact, I hope it improves.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Boop. Right in the center. Don't go sliding around. Stay there. Stay. Watch. If while I'm doing this other thing, you're gonna see that move. I can guarantee. Question. Should I drizzle some of this clear stuff over the rose? Because the rose is a little more matte than the...
I mean, if you want to, but I don't think you have to because that matteness...
Matteness?
That's a word. It should match it up with the main part of the piece, right?
Matteness is a word, you said. Okay, so in that case, I have a skull that needs to be fulfilled. Should I add the red or should I just do a two-tone skull? I'll add the red.
Yeah.
Because two tones just... I don't think that'll work. That's where I'm at. I don't think that'll work. There's not much resin in there, so I'm just putting a little bit of the Rolio Scarlet, which is the exact same thing that's in the other. I'll mix it in. Well, I'm going to have a lot of red skulls in the next little bit because I actually made red skulls the other day when I was doing another project. So I think there's some red skulls in my jar, and now we'll be adding these. That one's not completely full, but oh well. It is what it is. Every drop counts. Okay. That's done. While we wait for that to do its thing, which is going to be overnight. I'm not putting that in the carrying box. There's really no point. I will move these to the side so I don't mess those up. So, I'm not happy with these.
You're not.
I'm not. I don't like the way the color came out. So, we have our pens. Green. Yep, that's kind of like that. All right. So, I have to fix what I messed up. I'm taking my metallic pen. And it's the same green that I used on that. And I'm just going to go over all my lines. And it's not going to be super bright. And it's still not going to be like shiny, shiny. And it's not going to do that unless I decide to go over it with resin, which I don't think I'm going to do. I'm just going to color it in. And the kid will fast forward this part because, yeah. So I could have left the leaves like this. I could have left it all like this. And, like it's dead. But because skulls, right? But that's not the message I'm trying to send here. The message I'm trying to send here is love never dies. And they're skulls for sure. But they're together even in death. You see the skulls together, it looks like a heart. So that was the message I was going for. Because we're going into the Valentine's season. So if everything around it stays alive, what do you think? Is that like a good message to have?
I think so.
Oops.
Presuming it works.
Presuming it works, yeah. Now, this one's different because it's... I want the red. This is not a brush tip pen, so it's kind of hard to get into the deeper areas. When it comes to using these pens, my favorite is the brush tips because it gets in where you want it to, and it's very, to me, it's more controlled, more precise. Does that look better?
Oh yeah, I like that.
Okay, so then I have to do the other two flowers, and one was like a rose gold, which is the golden purple, and one is pink. So this one, we'll do the rose gold. It's supposed to be pink, but I don't know. The chrome powder, it said it was pink, but when I looked at it, it was really dark for pink. But I used it anyway, and my bad. Perhaps I should not have done that. I still have some green that needs to be greened. All right, this is what I'm saying. Now let's see what the kid says. What do you think?
I think it's cute.
You like it? Is the colors better now?
Is it matchy?
Even though the skull is black? We like the skull's black.
I like the black skull. And it definitely works better than if you had done the red skull.
Between the two skulls, there is a space. Should I just leave it black?
That's like the shadow.
That's what I thought. Okay. So, that's them. We're going to wait for that to finish before we demold it. And then I will show you, I think, the final pictures. Because you pretty much know what it's going to look like. Right?
Yep.
So, thank you for joining us here on Skull Sunday. We will be back here next month with another skull make for us. In the meantime, come join us every Thursday. I'm not sure what we're making next week. Do you know what we're making next week?
Probably a craft.
Some kind of craft, because this is, after all, Game Room Crafts. So, come join us again next week. I'm not sure what we're doing, but whatever it is, we'll endeavor to make it fun. In the meantime, don't forget to play. See you soon. Bye. Don't forget to check out the playlist below.